Hello, Crystal Palace. Welcome to the Upper Norwood Library Hub's Library Live Lunch. This is a place to share positive and useful information about the local community, maybe find out about an area of the community in more depth, and keep us all connected during this time. So my guest today is Elaine Harrison, who is the Trust Development Manager for Crystal Palace Community Trust based in Annerley Town Hall. Elaine, it's great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit about your role. What are you responsible for as Trust Development Manager?
Hi, thank you for having me too. Well, my job really is about helping the trust decide and manage its strategic direction. It's a lot about partnership development and about fundraising. So, for instance, in the 2 years I've been there, we have last year released our strategic plan. We're looking at what our priorities are. Primarily, we're a facilitator. We have a large building. I think a lot of people know the old town hall. And the old town hall is a business centre, and we let offices to small businesses, affordable business space to stimulate the local economy. We've got halls that we hire out for important celebrations of important life events like weddings, and then we hire the space for community use. And then in 2019, we raised over £300,000 to renovate the former old library and turn it into a children, young people and family centre.
Wow.
So I kind of do most of the fundraising, and in fact developing partnerships hasn't been that difficult because I've been quite humbled by the way people have approached us wanting to work with us. We believe in trying to bring services into Annerley because it's very badly served. Excuse me. The local authorities seem to have drawn their services to the centre, so we try and advocate for the people of Annerley and bring services into Annerley, working with partners to do that.
Well, what sort of groups, organisations are you partnering with? What do they do?
Well, if I talk about the more local partnerships, people who work with us, we've got two elders groups. One's called the Pineapple Club, which is mainly people of Afro-Caribbean heritage, and the other is called the Eagles Club. And so up to 4 days a week we have sessions for elders. So we support them by allowing them to use our space and supporting them to help with minor fundraising. And then I suppose other partners will be people who use our space for a variety of reasons, like the Citizens Advice Bureau, like Bromley Y Youth Counselling Service. And then we have kind of other partnerships. Most notably, last year we were successful in getting Young Londoners funding. So we have 7 funded partners working with us to deliver a youth project called The Power of One in Annerley. And those partners range from the Statutory Youth Service to the Great Northwood Collective, formerly known as the Overground Festival, the local church running something called King's Boxing, Ballers Community Football Club, the Climbing Wall, Crystal Palace, Invisible Palace, those kind of people. I think our partnerships are really interesting because we have strategic partners. So the umbrella voluntary sector organisations like Croydon CVS and Bromley Community Links and the local authority, police, people like that. But the ones I'm more interested in that I think are more important for the people of Annerley are those with the grassroots organisations who can reach those who don't historically engage with services.
Give us some examples of those. Then.
Well, no, I mean those groups. Really, I suppose the ones I mentioned as our partners. The Young Londoners Fund bid. So people, I'll give you an example. Ballers Club. It's growing now, but when I first met Ballers Club, they were a small group who just formed, born out of the vision of one man, Raymond Bascom, who just decided to provide activities for young people because there was nothing for them to do. And that's kind of grown, and he's got hundreds of young people involved, and he's diversifying into fashion and media. And more recently, a young man I met at a conference called Tyrell. He's just starting out and he's only 20, but he's looking at running community events, bringing people together at kind of very grassroots level. So we're going to hopefully be running a family sports day in the summer with him. So
Brilliant.
the little groups, and the church, the I mean, I really feel like we ought to give that church a shout out. It's kind of Annerley Ministries. The vicar Annerley Ministries runs a boxing club, and the first time I met him, he said to me he knows the kids who need to use that boxing club won't come into the church, so he goes out to look for them. And they're the kind of groups I want to support, so that we reach particularly the young people, and more latterly the elders who either can't get out or won't get out.
Tell us a little bit more about the Young Londoners bid then. What's the overall, it's obviously it's to help the young people in Annerley, but what's the sort of overall aim of it, of what you're doing?
The overall, the bid, first of all, I have to say we were really lucky to get it. Only 5 organisations in the whole of London got it this year, and last year Bromley put a bid in and failed. So it was great that we got the money, and it's brought over £500,000 into Annerley. 40% of which goes to our partner organisations. That's another way that we can help those grassroots organisations by Crystal Palace Community Trust fronting a consortium bid. And it was really born out of the issues on our streets. We've had all kinds of violent street crime, and we wanted to convert the old library into a safe, neutral space, and then the Young Londoners Fund application was a natural progression from that. It's about building a youth offer, about having enough activities happening that are free or very affordable, so that young people have something positive to do rather than engaging in negative activities. It's a 3-year project. Well, it started, when I say it started in January, it didn't last very long, did it? It started in January, and in March, wallop. But we're starting again small scale in the summer, and it'll be up and running again, because I don't think any of us who work with young people believe they're intrinsically bad, just they have very little to do and they get a negative press. So the project initially is focusing on a bit of the theory behind risk in play, that if you give young people exciting, slightly risky activities like wall climbing, circus skills, that kind of thing, adventure learning, that they'll learn to take risks safely, and it diverts them into more positive behaviours.
Fab. Oh, I'm jealous of the circus skills bit. Can I come and join?
Well, you can. Yes, you can. Well, you can. In fact, we are running a summer programme. Why don't you come along?
Excellent. I'd love to. Tell us more about the summer programme while you mentioned it.
So the summer programme is very. When I say newly off the press, it's not even off the press yet, because I've been organising it over the last week or so. After the last lot of guidance from the government, which we're still struggling to understand, but it led us to believe that we can run some small-scale activities in the open air. So we're going to have, and they're all great activities, we're going to have skateboarding, street hockey, circus skills, football, dance, art. Yeah, that's it. So 6 activities, 1 or 2 every day of the week for 4 weeks, starting Monday the 27th of August.
Amazing.
So people will be able to register for those, but they'll have to watch our website, because we haven't, in fact, I haven't even designed the leaflet yet, but we haven't invited people to register. We'll probably be doing that the week of the 6th or the 13th of July.
Brilliant. Wow, this is really, really, really new developments then.
Yeah,
we're very lucky to hear about it.
The trust and our trustees really felt it's kind of like a message of hope, isn't it? Because everyone's fed up. Kids have been stuck indoors, and they're going to be stuck indoors till September. In fact, yesterday I did have a video meeting with the Director of Education at Bromley Council to talk to him about the young people we want to attract into this scheme. Because what we want to be saying is, there are things happening, please come out and take part, and then maybe build relationships in the summer that we can carry on with throughout the year.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, have you seen, have you heard from people who normally would be using the trust, and kind of how they're finding lockdown, how the young people are coping and things?
Yeah. Well, yeah, right at the beginning of lockdown. I mean, Firstly, I think because we were the old town hall, a lot of people rang us because they thought we were still the town hall. We had over 1,505 calls either to us or from us in the first fortnight of lockdown.
Wow.
Some of those people just needed redirecting. Some of those people needed support, so perhaps to access food banks. A lot of those people were elders or young people. We maintained contact, I think, with something sort of 100 young people. To be honest, it was mainly their families that we maintained contact with. So we would ask people, can we keep in touch? And then we developed a resource pack that we made available on our website so people could download that. And then with the elders, in fact, that's turned into quite something, because we had a regular group of elders who now do Zoom meetings every Monday.
Wow.
A couple of weeks
cool.
ago, they did a sing song. That was very interesting. Especially, you know, when you can't sync up the sound, so it didn't sound wonderful, but they're having a good time. So we're doing quizzes and we're having talks and things. And one of the things that we found that I think is really exciting is that some of the people who are engaging with us through that mechanism weren't engaging with us before. So, you know, like my mum used to say, if you get up in the morning and you don't feel very well, you just stay in the house. So they may not come out to go into the building, but they would take part in the Zoom meeting. So I think that we're reaching further afield as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
No, it is.
Do you think this might inform kind of how things go forward afterwards? Will you keep an online element?
Yeah, we will. Yeah, no, we definitely will. We've got an offshoot project as well on the Kingswood estate, and they've found similar things with their ESOL class. I think that we'll maintain, and we might even develop it, because I think the elders are going to be very afraid of coming out for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So even when the guidelines dictate that we can, I don't think they will. So we will continue to run that service on a regular basis, and we are going to start exploring what other services we might want to offer. I mean, we called the service that we developed a befriending service, because that's what it is. Really, it's just being a listening friend. But we are also looking for a little bit of money to run a project with the elders to get them to tell their stories, because that's, and to link elders with young people. I don't know whether you remember listening to your own nan talk to you, but it's social history. It doesn't just tell you where you came from, it tells you what the world was like when they were young.
Yeah, I wonder whether we could have a chat about this, actually, because we've got a similar sort of project going at the Library Hub. So maybe let's have a chat and see if there's a partnership there that we could look at.
No. I mean, that would be absolutely great, because you know, again, at the trust, we don't want to, you know, don't fix it if it ain't broke. We don't deliver things unless there's no one else who's doing the delivery. We would rather facilitate and support other people to deliver. Just want to make sure we reach as many older people as we can. I mean, I personally love listening to those stories. I'm an older person myself, so I bore my children making them listen to my story. But I remember my nan telling me stuff. And it's magic, especially, you know, when you're like 9 and somebody who's 69 tells you their story. It's and it's capturing those things.
Definitely.
I know Norman Murray was talking about capturing those things and getting young people involved in doing that. And I think yes, it'll be interesting to talk about doing that jointly.
Yeah, brilliant, cool. Well, let's have a chat about that.
Yes.
But you were saying about pairing up the older people and younger people. What's the idea with that?
Well, we in the summer, and we haven't been able to do it. We're going to run a little course for young people, teaching them how to make films on their mobile phones, and then kind of a step from further on from that would be getting them to. Obviously, we've got to break down the barriers first, because I think older people can be afraid of young people. But it was about young people using their technical skills to record older people talking about their history, but also building a bridge between the generations. So I mean, that would be part of the project that we want to run, because I think that, you know, most young people have got great respect for older people, and I think that if you're an older person afraid to go out on the street, if you develop a relationship with a young person in a different forum, in a positive way, you will look on younger people in a different way generally.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds awesome. Well, I hope you managed to find funding for that. That sounds great.
We will. I'm determined.
You seem to be doing very well on the funding front, so I have no doubt you will get it if you're looking for it.
Well, sure. It's about. I think that I mean, we've been lucky, but I also think Anley is very deprived, and it's about telling a story, and it's about telling a true story. That's why Young Londoners Fund application was successful, because it's needed. And when you start talking to funders, they know whether it's real or not. And you know, we've had funders come down to the building, and I'll just say, look what we're trying to do in this area. And generally, if they can help you, they will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fantastic. Well, yeah, fingers crossed with that one.
Thank you.
I'm just going to quickly say hello to a few people who are watching. So we've got Nick, Melvin, Dennis, Ruth, and Nikki. Thank you guys very much for joining us. If you have any questions for Elaine, please do put them in the video feed of whichever social media platform you're on, and we'll try and answer them as we go along. So Elaine, you was talking about all the different things a little while ago, all the different things that happen in the building. You have classes and things, as well as you mentioned sort of the events and the social clubs for the older people and things, but you have classes and stuff as well under normal circumstances, I think.
Yes, we run art classes, interestingly, for older people and for young people. People come in and do all kinds of dance like salsa, samba, yeah, all kinds of things. A variety of different things. I've got to say, obviously that's dropped off because of, well, it's completely dropped off. We don't do any community activities, but we also have a dance tutor coming in to offer dance and a music